Aloha Manga Club. This month's manga collector tip video is going to be about 3 of the most popular manga shipping companies in the United States. Now, this idea was inspired by having conversations with collectors all across the world and realizing that they don't have access to local bookstores, or at least a lot of them don't. So I really wanted to try my hand at finding out who gives you the best shipping, at least in the United States. The 3 companies are as follows. The god of shipping, Amazon. Next up is the prince of packaging, Barnes & Noble. You can't tell, but this is Barnes & Noble because they don't brand their items. And finally, you have the new upstart, Right Stuff. At least for me, I've heard a lot of great things about this company, and this box right here is showing me why. For this to work as close to properly as possible, I set myself a few parameters. First, the size of the manga mattered. It needed to be this size, the exact size of a Shonen Jump American translated takuban. Next, it needed to be 100% brand new, at least as far as I understood it to be new. And finally, I could not choose expedited shipping, and I could not use a member sign-in for any of these websites. That way it's completely unbiased, and I wasn't getting things shipped to me next day, because that would really mess up the results, and I wanted to give you guys the best budget answer as well. Then I also gave myself 4 points to rank these companies in. First was the overall user-friendliness of the website. Next was the overall pricing. That was including the cost of the manga, possible discounts applicable at purchase, and the shipping of it. Next was the length of time that it took to go from the shipping center to my front door. And finally, just how was the overall packaging and quality of manga when it arrived. Now, 1 is absolute trash, 3 is greatness. So, without further ado, let's dive into point number 1, how user-friendly was the website. Now, I did actually go in with the idea of what I wanted from each individual store. The only reason why I did that was to save myself a little bit of time. However, to check how user-friendly these websites were, I just typed in manga. And let me tell you, the results were a little surprising. In 3rd place overall was Right Stuff. When I typed in manga to their site, it pulled up a bunch of stuff. It wasn't sorted. It was just kind of a hodgepodge of what had manga probably the most time in the descriptions. So I'm going to give Right Stuff on user-friendliness a 1 out of 3. Next is Amazon. Surprisingly enough, I was not sure how this was going to go, but when you search manga in their website, it pulls up a collection of what I know to be very popular manga, and people could assume are very, very popular manga, along with box sets, which is something that I was really intrigued by. However, Barnes & Noble, in 1st place, had probably the most amazing, out of these 3 anyway, just user-friendly website that I have seen for manga. When I typed in that word and it came up, things were listed in popularity order, what's newest, what's cheapest. Like, it was already sorted for me, so I didn't even have to think. It was telling me what was there in store. And I was really blown away. And after searching for all of those, the only reason why I'm not including how easy was it for you to purchase the product from them is because they all were very, very similar, and it did not affect their ranking. Point number 2. What was the overall pricing from the manga to the shipping? Now, I'm not going to give you the exact breakdown verbally. However, if you look right over here, I will be showing you the cost of the manga, the discounts for guests that were included, along with the total shipping price. So let's just dive into this. In 3rd place, we had Amazon at $15.26. I was really blown away by how much this cost. Now, I know I said I wasn't going to mention the price of the manga, but this was $7.99. Literally, the cost of shipping to get it to my door, including tax, was more than twice the cost of the manga. This is 3 to 4 volumes that I could have bought from half-price books and stuffed right there. In 2nd place was Barnes & Noble. This was actually pretty surprising for me because I was expecting them to be in 3rd place with a guest discount of 10% and a cost of $13.85 overall. I was pretty happy with it. And finally, in first place, you had Right Stuff at $11.11. I did use discount code JINGRAVES to give me 10% off. However, that was not a member price. That is something that is easily accessible to everybody. And the shipping was really, really cheap. Like, I think it was $3.99. Really, really, really happy and excited with all of that. So let's get to the next most important point. How long did it take me to go from ordering it to my front door? Now, I ordered all of these on the exact same day within 10 minutes of each other. So realistically, they should have all arrived at the same point in time. However, I will throw into consideration that Right Stuff is located 3 hours north of my current location, so that could have skewed it in my favor. But in third place, we had Barnes & Noble. It did not arrive in Kansas City until Thursday, early morning, midday. I picked it up after work, and it was good to go. Second place was Amazon. It arrived on Wednesday, and I was pretty okay with that. I was like, you know, that's not bad. They're the largest shipping company in the United States, but I understand what would take so long because they were probably getting it from a third-party distributor. But I was blown away again by number one with Right Stuff. It showed up to my front door Tuesday. Like early afternoon, I showed up at home at 2 o'clock, and it was right there waiting by my door. This was such an awesome thing to see. Now let's talk about point number 4. How was the packing quality, and was there any damage to the manga when it arrived? Well, I haven't opened any of them yet, so let's do this together. Welcome to the world premiere of the official Lohali unboxing stage. And depressingly enough, I think that we are going to christen this stage with what I believe is in third place, and that is the Amazon package. So, as you can tell, it is wrapped very effectively in a bubble wrap sleeve, which means that the manga itself is right there. Yeah, I know, great. The book is still bendable. Everything is bleh. I'm not terribly happy, and I was not thrilled to see this package arrive that way. So let's at least open it up and give them the benefit of the doubt. Make sure you have a sharp knife and keep it away from children. So you open it up, look on the inside, and lo and behold, my worst fears were confirmed. The manga itself, while in good condition, is not saran wrapped. Also, it's Black Cat volume number 10. Super happy to get this one. Everything looks fine. There's no yellowing of the pages, no bent pages. So at least it arrived safe and on time. But let's move with what I think is going to be number 2 in this race, something that I was surprised about and I didn't actually consider being an option. Second place is Barnes & Noble. It arrived in this oddly succinct cardboard envelope, however you want to say it, with a single piece of tape right there. Really easy to get into. However, compared to a bubble wrap package, I am much more excited because, as you can tell, much harder to bend this. So let's slice it. Now remember, don't slice towards yourself like I just did. That's a bad idea. Now this, like I said, is volume number 5 of Yu Yu Hakusho. Now, this was awesome because, well, I wanted this and I've wanted it for a while. Again, this is also not wrapped in plastic, which I guess is okay since it was in a cardboard box. And again, brand new, no yellowing. Pretty pumped. And there was one more thing in this package. Let's see what it is. Oh, hey look, it's a packing slip. Finally, for number 3 is in the absolute first place, and that is going to be, well, Right Stuff. If you did not guess that Right Stuff looked the best, I was going to be really disappointed. Also, if you couldn't follow along that I had done 2 before this, well, you're okay. Now, looking at this package, it is solid. I mean, this thing is a behemoth. I can guarantee that this thing could withstand me nearly kicking it across the street. It has good advertising for the company, which I appreciate because I said they're local. And this is something that most people aren't going to pay attention to, but it's using fiber packing tape. It has little strings in here to help with the strength of the tape. All things that I love. So let's get into this, and we'll start by doing it properly this time. Cutting away from yourself. And cutting away from yourself. So we can unfold this. If you look, there is a box ninja. What? That's ridiculous. I've never seen that before. Okay, that looks really, really ridiculously cool. Oh, danger. Ninjas inside. Is it ninjas or is it something a little bit punchier? Look at this. They gave me proper, packaging around it. They gave me a packing slip that was easier to get to, and they shipped me One Punch Man Volume Number 1. Say what? Now, as I said before, none of these seem to have any saran wrap packaging, and that is perfectly fine for the ones in the cardboard box. However, I think that Amazon Prime, or Amazon, needs to get their stuff together and at least saran wrap it if they're not going to put it into a cardboard box. But again, no bent pages, no yellowing. This is brand spanking new. So let's go to the final thoughts and considerations that I think you should have. Before I tally up the points and say my final thoughts, there are a few special considerations that I think we all really need to take into account. First, let's talk about Amazon. While I wasn't terribly impressed with their packaging, they are probably the #1 shipper of products in the world. They get everything to you quickly and cheaply. Let's be real here. If you have Amazon Prime, which you should if you're going to be buying manga anywhere in the United States, at least through them, that shipping cost is going to be astronomically low. It's going to save you so much money, it's ridiculous. Next up is Barnes & Noble. They have a physical location, which means that you can go in, peruse the store, and see what you really want, and the discounts that they offer online are usually applicable in stores. And finally, Right Stuff. They are a company based in the United States. They genuinely know and care about manga, and that's something that I think is really, really cool, and if I purchase manga again, it will probably be through Right Stuff. But let's tally up the points to see if these thoughts really add up. In third place is, surprisingly enough, Amazon. When I started this, I did not think that that's where they would end up. I thought they would probably be number 2, maybe number 1. However, with the overall price of the manga, the lack of discounts, the friendliness of the site, and just the packing quality, they did not win me over. So I probably will not end up purchasing any more manga through Amazon if I decide to purchase brand new. In second place is something that I was really, really surprised about, and that was Barnes & Noble. Their website was super, super user-friendly, at least for myself. The pricing was not bad at $13.85. The packing quality with that cardboard envelope, that solid cardboard envelope, meant that it was going to be able to tank a lot of abuse, which really, really meant a lot. So it's sitting there at 8 points. And in first place, the new champion, at least for me if I'm going to be buying new manga not in a store, is Right Stuff. The fact that, their pricing was the absolute best. Their shipping length was great. Again, probably because I'm only 3 hours away. And their packing quality was over the top, ridiculous, and insane. And I loved it. I do think that each one of these companies could improve really, really simply in a few different areas. One, I kind of wish that Right Stuff would improve their website and make it just a bit more user-friendly. But that just comes with time and experience, and maybe I just wasn't utilizing it right. Barnes & Noble didn't really have too much to improve on. They weren't great, they were just middle of the road everywhere, so just tweaking it here and there would be great. And Amazon, if you're gonna be sending it in an envelope, please shrink wrap it so it's less likely for the pages to get bent. I know I didn't have this happen, but other people have had this bad experience. So who is the overall shipper for you, at least in the United States? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to check out last month's manga collection tip video. And as always, for everyone new and old, welcome and welcome back. It's your boy Lohali, signing out.